Hello YouTube friends, welcome to the Red Parrot channel. I am your host, Mary Ellen. This is an episode of Roxy's Journal of Stitchery with her sister Sarah. It is volume 7, which is the still life stitched picture. Let's see where we're at. I'm going to spend maybe an hour. Less if it goes horrible and more if it goes well. So, where are we at? We are, I think we last left off where I had, let's start on the back because the back is more illustrative. So the back, you can see these lines here. These are the size of, the current size of the canvas, which you can sort of see here. I think it is 12 by 14 or something. 12 by 16. All right, 12 by 16, that's my canvas for now. So that's where we're at. Those are our borders. We have put on our borders and we have lost sort of where the edge is. The edge is maybe about here. The edge is maybe about there. And maybe about there, and then maybe about there. And so we had to do wallpaper or background, so we've done that, and I've been using, this is a piece of silk sari, and the rest is eco dyed fabric that I have done. And the next thing is we needed to create some kind of tablecloth. And I am here to report that I have really spent a lot of time trying to figure out what this tablecloth is going to be. I have had this out, sort of lying against a chair, and various fabrics laid on it, thinking, oh, that'll work, and then getting up the next day, looking at it, going, yep, nope, and then going back to square one. So I think that I have settled on an option. The other thing, is it this? Yes. That I am possibly aware of is this might go bigger. Because technically speaking, all I need is like a small amount to stretch over, and I have got lots extra. So I am not going to confine myself to this if it turns out to be a little bigger, which has implications for the tablecloth. So here is, without further ado, get this all neat there, what I want to use as a tablecloth. This is a silk, 100% silk scarf. And, ooh, my hands are rough. What I want to do, oh, interesting. Don't know if you can see, see, there's the line where the print happened. And so there is another, woo! There's another line of the print right there. You can sort of see where the joins happen. That's cool. So I want to sort of do this. Oops. That. And that be, so that's going to go way beyond that line there, which is fine. If I lined it up to there, I should be no worse for wear. Be a little extra, that'll be fine. And I can probably go over to about there. Horseshoes and hand grenades? Sure. This seems to be not, the gathering seems to be a little bit upset, which is fine. We will just go and cut. Well, I say that with the cavalierly like, yeah, easy peasy lemon squeezy. What's the problem? What is the problem? Cutting silk is going to be nice. It doesn't need to be super accurate. Oops. There. I'm just going to go around this way. So once we get this silk bit off, we can play around a bit. Hi, Boo. What are you doing? You helping? There we are. So we've got that. And then we've got this still as more beautiful pieces of silk. There. And then put that away. With my little pile of silk over here. I feel like I should cut off these ends, but I'm not going to yet because we're still not completely sorted. So if I pin this like that, do I have pins? I would say no. Why would I have pins? Hang on. Good grief. Okay. So there could be a smooth line. No question. There could also be that as a line. And I'm not pinning it down yet. Or at least pinning it to the background yet. You can see where that joint is. The print block. There. I think these are cyclamen flowers? Clematis. I think they're clematis. This silk is super thin and super movie. Oops. Okay. So that's the minimum. If I were to do nothing else, that's what I would put down. I'm just playing around just to see if I did it that way and let, so that's completely different on a bunch of fronts. Yeah, no, yeah, no. And that would allow us to get kind of an angle. I lose the perspective of kind of where the ridges are and where the lines are. Some of this might have to just be an inhale leap of faith. So let's leave that for a second. Then the next thing was to put a vase kind of here, and then presumably we're going to put flowers on top of it. And I have this applique that has been thrifted, that I could even just cut into half. Or I just use those flowers and I just create a vase. So that's the current plan, but that's not what we're working on at the moment. We are working on putting this down. So how much do I lose? Oh, not that much. Okay. So let's try. Okay, so now I think I can sit down. Can I sit down? I'm going to sit down, see how long it lasts, and then reserve the right to stand up again. Where are we at? We're 11 minutes. Okay, 11 minutes in. We're practically done. This green and that green is bananas. So how did I settle on this fabric? I have been using reds and yellows and blues and different kinds of blues and floral patterns and geometric patterns and gingham and all of the things. And I realized that my issue was I was picking the wrong color. And I had to sort of do a sit down with myself and talk about what color is most going to work with the predominantly kind of yellowy purpley. Hey, guess what? The answer's purple. And so this was the first piece of florally fabric that was purple that I had. And so it became the winner chicken dinner. There. Oh dear. I needed to get my pins, so I've gone into another room. I've forgotten to close the door. And guess who is super interested in that room at the moment? What a nutcase she is. Cats and dogs are so opportunistic. Ridiculous. Anyways, I just heard her jump. Now she's exploring. I'm glad I'm not rushing this project, because I think had I gone with my original thought, I think I would be sad now. And the sadness might have deterred me from completely finishing this project. So I think this is what I want to say about following prompts. You don't have to go at the speed of the prompt presentation. You can always go at your speed, because at the end of the day, your speed is the thing that counts most. And your pleasure and your satisfaction. Because I am absolutely certain that Rachel and Sarah would both completely support that as a point of view, as in you do you. And also, I am almost certain neither one of them is leaving their home country, one being Italy, the other being Australia, and going to pop around the world auditing everybody. They're just not. If they did, they would be more than welcome, though. I'm not going to lie. But I don't think they're going to be. So you can still do what you want. There. That line is possibly a little bit too severe. Oh yeah, that's the other thing I wanted to do. Okay, hang on. Oh, no, it's fine. So, I can do that if I want to, in terms of putting this down and then just having wrinkles. And silk is the perfect fabric for that. Okay, I can cut these off now, I think. Okay, do it this way, fine. Wow. There. And there. I like this idea of an asymmetric vase. Okay, that's not what we're working on at the moment. Okay, let's roll some of this up because we're not worried about that at the moment. Oops, there we are. So technically speaking, and I'm okay folding this over with this extra piece, it is just gonna give it texture, and I'm not interested that much in actually cutting it all off. Okay, one thing at a time. Increase parfois. I need thready threads. Oh yeah, this was for something, and I found my what do we call this? These yo-yo maker. I keep picking the stiffest fabric to do this with, and it's ridiculous. I need to pick thin, yummy fabric. Like this silk would be perfect. Ooh, okay. Because squirrel, stop, focus, focus, focus. Ay, chamama. Here we are. This needle that I have been using. Oh, I have something to show you while I'm up. You are always aware I see somebody on the internet do a thing, and then I have to do the thing. A woman took a whole orange, some pure fleece, wool, sheep wool, and did some wet felting, and she created a bowl, and I wanted a bowl. So I have created a little Ort bowl that's very pretty, because I have been wanting an Ort bowl for this location that isn't glass. And it is so yummy. Like, let's just take a moment and just sort of, I did some extra felting so that there's some spots where it looks like it's Not necessarily just wet felted, but needle felted. Yep, yep, yep. It's like a hot cup of cocoa. Anyways, that's over there because I'm tired of having threads all over the place. And then this is for the Christmas thing. The Christmas what? The Christmas. I'll get the word in a minute. This is beading needle. Do I want a beading needle? I don't think I do. Wait a minute. There we are. Put that one back. Take this one out. Wow. This is a huge needle. Very large eye. Okay, that'll work. Crazy quilt, the 4-patch crazy quilt. There's a big patch in that. Okay, so 20 minutes in, and brace yourself, I'm gonna make a stitch. I know. Practically finished this. I am doing the basting stitch made famous by somebody on the internet, and all the slow stitchers talk about this basting as don't want to say revolutionary, but just oh, a method that is really, really helpful. And the basting allows you to take all your needles out. And then when you're doing the actual additional slow stitching, you're not all caught up with the needles. And I should probably describe what I'm doing. So I have come up here. I'm going to put the needle in sort of backwards, and then I'm going to go about quarter, half, 3/8 of an inch forward, needle up a little bit backwards, and then just keep going in sort of like that kind of a loop formation. And the backwards bit creates a sense of, it creates structural security, meaning that it doesn't come out. I just want it to lie flat. Oh, never mind. It'll be fine. There we are. Ooh, that almost feels like it's been pressed. That's glorious. And I'm using a basic gray color, which pretty much blends in with whatever color you're dealing with. It's sort of like an 18% gray kind of color. If you use white, it'll scream at you like an animal asking for attention. Another way of saying that, I don't know if you've seen on social media, there is a woman, bless her heart, who has purchased, I shouldn't say purchased, she owns, she's the caretaker for 3 huskies. And when a husky gets to howling, it is really loud. It is, takes a while for everybody to settle down. And everybody joins in. It becomes an instant crowd activity for the dogs. And she periodically will show the how do we want to say it? Riotous protests of the dogs. And that's kind of like what the color white sometimes is like. It's, look at me! Look at this one spot. Okay, that's enough of that thread. Come on. It's not likely to come out. Oops. But I shall knot it anyways. Here we are. Or drawer. I have a little knit magnet that I put on my scissors so that I don't lose my needle. Because I do that on the regular. If I don't. And I have some beeswax that I will pass the thread through a couple of times. And that will reduce the thread's inclination to get all knotty. K-N-O-T-T-Y, knotty. There we are. And I have it kept in foil just because it's beeswax. And will stick to things, and heat will allow it to melt. There's just a whole lot of things you just don't want to have it attached to. There. Where are we here? We are here. Okay. No idea. Oh, there we are. Pretty good. There. This pattern also lends itself beautifully to, what do they call it? Stitch painting. Stitch painting? I think it's stitch painting. Where instead of, so think of a coloring book where you have lines and then you just color in with paint or crayons or pencil crayons or whatever. Same idea, fabric instead, and embroidery instead. So embroidery becomes the way of coloring it in. And you can change the color and you can embellish it, you can do all the things. Oh, there we are. I knew I was missing something. That's a little bit on the purple side. Stitching is such a pleasant activity. There. We're basted. One side anyways. There we are. Okay, now let's see what we have wrought. Oops. So we've got that. That's what it would look like if it was just like kept smooth. Now let's sort of multiple direction pinch. Oops. Oops. Part of me, and I've been thinking about this, it would be fun if this edge, because it's been hemmed, could hang off the edge of the screen panel, whatever that thing is. What are you pointing to? Pointing to this, canvas, this is what it's called. And just have that as sort of like the an overhanging tablecloth, because that's what it's supposed to be, and then just have it sort of in the real world, if you know what I mean. Jelly bean. Okay, I'm not going to do that. So I want that folded that way. So I'm just creating an opposition. So this side is folded that way, and then this top side is folded that way. So I'm essentially doing that, creating a twist or a semi-twist. There. I've got to resolve that somehow. So this isn't particularly funny, but it's about a word. And so Toronto Blue Jays have a really good pitcher, young, brash, all of the things. And he went through a difficult time last year. And he just couldn't pitch well. And there was a point where he was playing a game, he was pitching, and you could tell that he had hurt himself. Throw just didn't work. And when he was talking to everybody afterwards, he said, yes, I felt my elbow go all pinchy. And every time I use or even think of the word pinch, I think of that moment where he said, yeah, it went all pinchy. Mm-hmm. There. And so that's what I am doing. I'm making this all pinchy. And then the rest of it will get itself sorted out. I don't need to overdo it, I don't think. There. All right. Where do I want to start? I think I want to start there. Sort of start in the middle and radiate out. Maybe. Oops, that did not end in a knot. Here we are. Okay, ta-da. This also needs... That seems like a bad idea to point the pin towards me. There. Ow. I have winter hands, And by that I mean I live in a cold climate, and you should do as I say, not as I do, and that is use lots and lots of hand cream. And don't go outside without gloves on, or mitts on, or some kind of hand protection. But I'll tell you what, at some point during the winter, it's just all too much. And you think to yourself, oh, I've just got to go out for 2 seconds. It'll be fine. And it's not actually. And so now I have not cold hands, but I have chapped hands. And chapped hands doing fine embroidery on really fine silk, it's not ideal. Just saying. Maybe that's what I need to do. So I've just made a tuck, oh bloody hell, on the top of this piece of fabric. And does that work? Maybe it helps a little bit, or not, I don't know. Getting a little random now. Where do I want to go now? Let's go up. Okay, left-handed sewing is... let's turn it around. I'm just gonna say that. That's probably easier. Good job. Get your hand under there. That's, oh, ow. That's also a good job. Oops, I'm gonna be caught. And here too, and here. All the spots. Eep. Okay, I'm just gonna make a knot. I know I could just go all over everywhere, but it'll make me feel better if I can just create a fresh start. Oops. There. Oops, did I just hit you? I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so that's good. Did I finish that? Is that a thing? Did I make a knot there? I don't know. I might make another knot there. I don't know if your eye will see all of this extra work. That's something to do. There it is. Ah! I got smart and I got a wider-eyed needle, which I think if you're having difficulty threading the needle, that's always an option. You don't necessarily want to make it a darning needle, but you can do these small things that allow the pleasure of stitching to return. Oops. Okay, kind of doesn't, but kind of, I'm gonna stand up for a second and see it through the lens. Yeah, it doesn't really. This worked. And it probably worked because it was severe. So maybe that's what I need to do. It needs to be more severe. Okay, we can do that. So what I'll do is I'll repin this, and then we'll call color a day. Okay, that's exactly what I don't want. How about that? Look at that with a dynamic curve and everything. So we can't. There. Maybe what I'm supposed to do is let it bulge, like have that, like not actually sew it down. Well, we are at 50 minutes, so I'm going to call that a video. Let's flip it over, see what we've done. Oh, well, that's not great. That was nearly an accident. That's why you need to check your work, man. Check your work. There we are. That's better. There. What I might need to do actually is cover. I've had this as a shirt and wanting to keep that visible. I might need to create that invisible, which is fine. I mean, we're not in any rush. Anyways, that's where we've got to, which is, oops, a massive upgrade, amount of progress, let's call it that. I will continue stitching on this, and when we see each other again, I may be working on a vase, I may be working on this stitching, or some of that may be done, and we might be working on the next prompt. Anyways, that's all for now. As always, please take very good care of yourself, stay out of trouble. Love you lots, and I'll see you soon. Bye now.